Good evening and welcome to the second half of the season here on Football Friday Night. Alongside Katie Gilhooly, I'm Jason Geiser, and we begin this evening with highlights from each of the teams in the four-way tie atop the Western Buckeye League.
Van Wert suffered its first loss of the season last week at the hands of St. Mary's. That Week 5 loss mirrored the only loss of the Cougars' 2020 state championship campaign, which also came in Week 5. But last year, it was OttawaGranger that spoiled the perfect season. Tonight, these two meet again in Van Wert, of course this time with the conference standings and a little revenge on the mind of Coach Keith Recker's bunch as the Cougars look to bounce back at home. Very first drive of the game, and Van Wert makes some ground. Aiden Pratt gives to Nate Jackson. He takes it to the left before cutting back, taking this one 23 yards. That's good enough to pick up a first down. Later that drive, Cougs knocking. They go back to Jackson, and he pushes his way in from 1 yard out. Van Wert strikes first. OG trying to tie this one up. From inside the 20, Landon Jordan pulls it down on the read option, taking this one in from 11 yards out, and the Titans tie this one up at 7s. Ensuing drive, Cougars go airborne. Pratt finds older brother Connor, who hauls this one into Titans territory before being dragged out of bounds, but not before picking up 38 yards on the connection. Same drive, second quarter now. Jackson finds the end zone a second time, this time walking it in from a yard out. OG would make it a game, but Van Wert hangs on to win 32-27. Another team that started tonight in that four-way tie atop the WBL standings is Shawnee. The Tribe travels to Grand Lake Health Field to meet a St. Mary's squad riding high off a win over Van Wert last week. Picking this one up second half. Shawnee trails, trying to get something going on offense, but Logan Compton is there to pull the plug. He comes down with the INT, taking this one all the way back to the 3-yard line. That leads to a Rough Rider field goal, and St. Mary's takes it over in the fourth after another interception. Braden Sullivan gets the handoff for another St. Mary's score. Home team leads 18-3, and the St. Mary's offense continues to roll. Colton Mabry gets the ball, fighting off a defender on his way to the end zone. Rough Riders win 25-3.
Wapakoneta is our final team entering tonight with a 3-1 record in WBL games. The Redskins made it through a meat grinder of a first half schedule with a 3-2 overall mark. Tonight they open the second half of the season against 0-5 Kenton. First quarter, driving right down the field, Jace Mullen with a 20-yard touchdown run. Redskins are on the board first, and the defense looks stout too. Tyler Hauser meets the ball carrier in the backfield and drops him for a loss. The Skins force a punt, and with Kenton on D, Carter Hadinger knows who has the ball, even if I didn't for a second. He and a host of Wildcat teammates move Wapak backwards, but late in first quarter, how about Braden Goulet? Rolling to his right, nothing there, so the senior reverses field. He's going to have to lay a stiff arm just for good measure, and now watch his eyes. He sees a man come open, sets, and hits Hauser in the end zone. What a play. Wapakoneta wins 34-0. Elida last week stopped a two-game skid with a victory at Salina. Tonight, the Bulldogs return home for a date with Defiance, looking for their second two-game win streak of the season. And know this, if you're twirling flaming batons, I'm always going to put you on television. Second quarter, bad snap. Alex Hofel makes the Orange Dogs pay. He drags down the QB for a loss, so Elida has to settle for a field goal try before the half. No worries. Grant Hardiman drills the 34-yarder. The junior gives the home team a 17-zip lead at the break, and Elida protects that lead in the second half. Aiden Long-Reed with the sack. Orange Dogs win 17-7.
Rounding out our trip through the WBL is another conference clash in Allen County. Bath is coming off just its second loss of the season to OG. The Wildcats welcome Salina to Bath Stadium tonight. First quarter, the home team's on the march. Ian Armentrout escapes the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, and hits Zeke Burkholder on the sideline, moving Bath inside the 15-yard line. Now it's Skylar Lehman fighting forward towards the end zone and stretching, but coming up just short. No worries on the very next play. Ty Seibert will not be denied. Bath wins at home 35-13. Now we welcome in Tyler Sagerman to walk us through the Three Rivers Athletic Conference.
Thanks, Katie. It's been 7 years since the Lima Senior Spartans jumped out to a 2-0 record in conference play. That season, 2014, also marks the highest finish Lima Senior has ever had in the track, which was second. The team that was in front of them, Central Catholic, which is where the Spartans marched off to tonight in a battle of league unbeatens. Lima Senior seeking their first ever win over the Fighting Irish since the track got formed. Second quarter, Spartans though trailing 21-0, but Deontay Griffin isn't giving up. He jumps the route for the interception, wrestling it away from the receiver. Spartans though shot on the first half 37-0. In the second, Aiden Howard showing off his arm, going deep to Brian Hines, who hauls it in for a great catch, but Lima Senior falls tonight 43-12. Heading south down I-75, Finley injured tonight on the opposite end of the spectrum. The Trojans still trying to win their first conference game of the season, taking on rival and undefeated Fremont Ross. Opening drive of the game, it's the freshman Ron Montgomery going to work, dropping back and fires over the middle to Ben Ireland, and he's got some turf in front of him, fighting his way inside the 5-yard line. Very next play, Montgomery says, hey, I can use my legs as well, tucking the ball and breaking multiple tackles before diving in the end zone. Trojans grab an early 6-0 lead. Finley's defense trying to keep it that way. Pass goes out wide, but Terrion Ross comes up and says hello, laying the boom. Then 2 plays later, Fremont Ross again trying to go to the air, only for it to fail once again. Skylar Scott getting home for the sack. Finley goes on to win 34-14.
Thanks, Tyler. As we continue to trek south on I-75, we get back into Lima. 1 week after stomping winless Willard, LCC rides a 4-game win streak into their date with undefeated Worthington Christian. Already up 28-3 in the second quarter when Evan Unruh takes off with the rock, and that's a big problem for the boys from Worthington. Unruh picks up 25 yards. He has the T-Birds moving across midfield, and now he shows off his arm. Going deep for Travis Hoyle Jr. over the top and into the end zone. LCC's in total control, up 35-3. And their defense gets in on the action as well. Matt Sierra, D'Angelo Russell, and Colton Blueball all meet at the Worthington quarterback. T-Birds roll 50-3.
We need to take our first break here on Football Friday Night. When we come back, championship contenders collide in both the Northwest Conference and the Northwest Central. Stick around.
Football Friday Night is brought to you by Rabel's Auto Service in St. Mary's, where we'll fix the problem the first time, not cause more.
Welcome back. Leipzig has started its move to the Northwest Conference on the right foot. Off to an unbeaten start in league play, the Vikings enter a matchup with the defending conference champs tonight. Columbus Grove also unbeaten in league play and hasn't suffered a loss all season, making this NWC matchup perfect for our Football Friday Night Spotlight game.
This Football Friday Night Spotlight game is brought to you by CCR Realtors. Our team works for you.
Just the third time these two will meet as NWC members, the last coming in 1963, the final year of the Vikings' 2-year winless stint in the league, giving Leipzig the chance to beat Grove for the first time in conference play. First drive of the game, that Bulldog defense holding strong. Kyle Lathrop busting through the line for the sack. That forces the Vikings to punt, and Grove would march down the field, setting up a field goal attempt for Reese Veerhoff. He nails the 50-yarder with ease, and that puts Columbus Grove on the board early 3-0. But Leipzig would respond. Vikings knocking on the door. Dylan Neese with the pitch to Fabian Pena, who pushes his way into the end zone. Home team takes a 7-3 lead, and then Joe Kirkendall gets tricky. Neese pitches to Caleb Ellerbrock, who gives to Quinn Schrader on the reverse, and Schrader finds a wide-open Trent Siefker downfield for the touchdown. Vikings would lead 21-3 at half before Grove would come all the way back to win this one 25-21. Crestview and Bluffton both sit at 4-1 on the season coming into their matchup tonight. Each of those losses coming week 4, followed by wins last week, but only one will add a W to the win column in week 6. Picking it up second half, Crestview trying to get on the board. Isaac Klein spinning out of tackles for the big gain. Then later in the drive, it's 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. Carson Hunter trying to find a hole, eventually just powering his way into the end zone. Crestview takes the lead 7-6. After forcing a Bluffton punt, Knights again on the attack. The handoff goes to Klein, but Bo Stever comes up big for the Pirates. Crestview wouldn't be phased. Once again inside the 5, and it's the junior QB doing the damage. Crestview wins 21-14.
The NWC matchups this week actually go in order straight down the standings. That includes another showdown of teams tied 1 game off the lead as Spencerville visits Allen East. Third quarter, on a 4th down, Nate Coulter reaches over the pile for the Bearcats' touchdown. The ball comes loose, but already broke the plane, so we're tied at 7s. Allen East answers in a big way. Here comes Cade Wireman, headed right for us, and there he goes. 71 yards to push the Mustangs back out in front. Allen East leads 14-7. Fourth quarter, it's Spencerville's turn. Gunnar Grigsby plunging across the goal line. That knots us back up at 14-all, but the home team laughs last. Final 30 seconds of the game, Jacob Hirschberger on the keeper, and he does the dirty work himself. Ball game. Allen East wins a thriller, 21-14. USV enters the night all alone atop the Northwest Central Conference. The Rams ride a 4-game win streak into play against a Perry team looking to move back to the top of the standings where they finished the last 2 years. First quarter, the home team strikes first. Jackson Roars punches in the short TD. Upper Scioto Valley grabs an 8-0 advantage, so Perry answers. Ryan Yanks, quarterback keeper, and he's in. The Commodores also tack on 2 and tie the game at 8s, but USV finds another gear. Connor Sanders, who told us this week that he'd never beaten Perry in any sport in his career, up the middle on the tough TD run. It's 16-8 Rams, and now the Roundhead Alger McGuffies go back to Roars, who heads our way for another score. USV stays perfect in the league, winning 34-14. Other NWCC action tonight. Waynesfield Goshen improves to 5-1 on the year with a 28-8 victory over Ridgemont. Hardin Northern in a shootout defeats Elgin 52-42, and Ridgedale earns their first conference win, beating Crestline 42-13.
We need to take our second and final break here on Football Friday Night. When we come back, we head down to Mac Country for highlights from the top-ranked teams in a pair of state polls. Stay tuned.
Football Friday Night is brought to you by Union Bank. Now with everyday rewards checking, with free online banking and bill pay, refunds on ATM charges, and more.
It's no surprise at the midway point of this season, or any point of any season, to find both Coldwater and Marion local ranked #1 in their respective state polls. Both of these perennial powers hit the road in MAC play tonight. The undefeated defending Division VI champion Cavaliers visit 2019 champ Anna. That's back-to-back games against defending state title winners for the Rockets, who lost at New Bremen last Friday. Cavs up 7-0 in the first, looking for more. Reese Dellinger scrambles to his right, gets a block from his receiver, helping him pick up first down yardage. So with the drive still alive, the Cavs finish. Isaac Folenkamp makes it look easy, straight into the end zone. Coldwater leads 14-0. Anna needs to get something going. Carter Siegel finds Zach Ambus in the middle of the field, running right along with the train in the background until he's stopped abruptly by the Coldwater D. Rockets now inside the 10, and Siegel gets the ball to Hunter Schmidt, popping outside and coming straight to us. That's all Anna gets, though. Coldwater wins big, 42-7. A week ago, it was St. John's who gave Coldwater all they wanted, leading in the fourth quarter before losing by a touchdown. Tonight, the Blue Jays play a second straight undefeated top-ranked team, hosting D7 leader Marion Local. Third quarter, Peyton Oddie on the QB keep right up the middle for the score. Marion Local has a 21-0 lead, and they can also attack from the air. Oddie to Drew Lousy, who goes untouched, 48 yards on the house call. Suddenly, it's a 28-0 ball game in favor of the Flyers, and Marion Local puts this one to bed. Still in the third, the give is to Lousy in motion. He cashes in once more. This from 15 out. Marion Local wins 35-0. Versailles wins the battle of one-loss teams over New Bremen tonight, 24-19. St. Henry puts on a show at Wally Post, beating Fort Recovery 41-7. And Parkway goes on the road in Downsminster 53-29.
Our lone game from the Blanchard Valley Conference tonight takes us to Pandora, where the Rockets face a winless Vance Lou squad. Late second quarter, Dylan Crone hands off to Aiton Morris, who finds a hole before being brought down just short of pay dirt. Very next play, Crone hands off to Ethan Luganbull, who walks this one in with ease. Rockets go up 42-6. On the very next possession, on the first play of the drive, the give to Luganbull again, one more time. He takes off, getting by everyone on his way to another touchdown before half. PG wins 73-12. In other BBC action, first place Macomb dominating as they beat Riverdale 69-6. Arlington grabbing a shutout over Arcadia 37-0. And North Baltimore earns their first conference win, defeating Corey Ralston 39-7.
In the Green Meadows, Antwerp beats Wayne Trace 43-18, while Hicksville edges out Paulding 22-20. NWOAL, Patrick Henry doubles up Bryan 28-14. Central Buckeye Conference, Indian Lake with a 42-14 win over Ben Logan, and Bellefontaine defeats Tecumseh 23-18. In the new Three Rivers Conference, Riverside shuts out Troy Christian 31-0, while Lehman Catholic falls to Bethel 21-17. And in non-conference play, Fort Loramie falls 24-21 at Eden after coming up short on 4th and goal in the final ticks. And that is how we wrap up Week 6 on Football Friday Night. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks to everyone here who helps us put the show on the air each week.
Join me tomorrow for more high school football with Ada visiting Jefferson, as well as local college ball at Findlay and ONU, as well as much more. Have a great night.